have a bit of a ritual when it comes to shaving, in that I don't like doing it and I put it off for as long as possible. Because even though shaving is dumb and it hurts my back and I always cut myself, even I think it's a little bit gross when the hairs are so long that I can feel them through my pants. I have received plenty of judgment for this, mostly from my mom and my sister. Several times a week, I take an actual weapon to my legs to remove the hair there. For what? So I can have smooth skin for other people to touch and look at. Others use hot wax to yank out these hairs. Another option is thread to rip them out. Or you can have surgery with a laser beam burning them off. When you list it all out like that, it seems like more effort than it's worth. Being South Asian means that I have a lot of hair on my head and everywhere else. And it's dark and thick, and wow, do I spend a lot of effort and money trying to get rid of it. I can still remember the exact moment it registered that I had way more hair on my face than my white friends. I was sitting in my 4th grade classroom playing a game, and the boy whose desk was across from mine looked me straight in the eyes and told me that he thought it was weird that I was a girl and had a mustache. So I shave and I pluck, and I've spent so much money on getting my eyebrows threaded that I could have bought a used car instead. A whole car. For eyebrows. But it's not just the money. I really mourn all the time I spent worried about my body hair that I could have used for literally anything else. And I definitely wish I could get back all the hours I could have been sleeping. And why? Is having body hair more important to the world than what I do? Do I have to hack and pluck and shave and wax and tear my body hair away to be seen as a respectable woman? Are the thoughts in my head worth less if I don't go out of my way to conform to a sexist beauty standard? I think we all know the answer to those questions is yes. You can read all the self-empowerment articles you want. Draw a winged liner so sharp it could cut someone. But you will never escape the voice in your head that says you will never be pretty enough.
When I got my first period, at the ripe old age of 11, my mom sat down with me to explain what was happening with my body and all the new rules my period had brought with it. There are a lot of rules. You can't cook. You can't wash your hair on the first 2 days. You can't talk about your period. You have to stay outside. You can't go to the temple. While my parents never banished me from our home while I was bleeding, we have rescheduled many a temple trip because of my menstrual cycle. I remember so clearly being 13 and having my period on Ganesh Chaturthi. My mom assured me that it would be fine for me to attend the puja, but I spent the whole time apologizing in my head anyway. Once, I needed my dad to buy pads for me. I had to send him a picture of the brands I used, and he still got the wrong ones because he didn't want to stand in the aisle for too long. Honestly, if you don't experience them, there is no way to explain what it's like to live through a period. You can talk about it in medical terms all you want, but really, your period is a state of mind. It's spending at least 3 days worried about staining your clothes because, God forbid, someone knows you're on your period. It's intense pain that makes you want to stay curled up in bed. It's emotional reactions you don't understand and hating how your body looks while keeping it all to yourself because the men in your life don't want to hear about it. It's not okay that most men consider it inappropriate to talk about your periods in a workplace. Over half the world menstruates at one time or another, but you'd never know it. Isn't that strange? It isn't really, when you consider all the ways the world teaches women that we don't matter. We've reduced our needs for food, for space, for respect, for help, for love and affection, for being noticed, based on what we are told we are allowed to have? Periods are the price I pay for existing. I will spend the rest of my life unteaching myself that being on my period makes me dirty. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a world that saw me for more than my reproductive organs?
Close your eyes for me and take a minute to imagine what a South Asian woman looks like. Who did you see? A Bollywood heroine with long hair, big eyes, beautiful clothes draped over a thin body? Or maybe you thought of a mother figure, wearing something frumpy, yelling about getting married, or making sure you ate something. I can almost guarantee that you didn't think of her as a leader or particularly ambitious. Don't feel ashamed. I immediately thought of the same thing. Now, think about what it was like to watch those images as a little girl full of life and opinions and thoughts and all of the potential in her little body. A little girl with no role models that look like her other than that vulnerable waif or the worried mother. I want to look at the world and see successful people that look like me. I want to feel like I'm not breaking the rules when I strive to be something other than a dutiful wife and mother. And I want more for the next little girls. I know hundreds of South Asian women full of hope and love and life. So much life right there, waiting for someone to see them. And instead of getting accolades, we get boxes. We get flattened down into stereotypes by everyone that we know, almost punished for our attempt to live full lives if they end in anything other than marriage and having babies. Sometimes that makes you think that you are the problem. You know there are systems standing in your way, but if you were good enough, strong enough, smart enough, it wouldn't matter. You would figure it out. So, now when you close your eyes and imagine, I want you to see us. These women on stage, daring to put our innermost thoughts out there in the hopes that we'll become more human in your eyes. Is it scary to be this vulnerable? It's terrifying. But if this means we will all walk out of this room with a better understanding of the ways we have left South Asian girls high and dry for all of these years, it will have been worth it.